Yes, Yvonne, we still roll on with our coverage here. The hall is empty this evening, but Tanzania is expectant of more votes coming from this place and a resolution about who will be the next president of Tanzania starting tomorrow. Lots happening tomorrow as well. I'll update you that in a moment. But first, let's return to that amount of expectancy in different parts of the country. Francis Ontomwa was in Morogoro and now brings us that painful wait by residents there.
The wait is still on here in Tanzania for the much-awaited presidential contest that many are keeping their eyes to. And it's not any different here at Mdaula village on the outskirts of Morogoro. People have gone back to their businesses, but they are still putting their focus on that presidential contest. They're still waiting to hear from the National Elections Commission. Although the Judge Damian Lubuva Commission has been appealing for calm and patience, most Tanzanians, it's clear that there is anxiety and many want to know which way the presidential contest.
Nchi yetu inaongozwa na rais na miaka mingi tulikuwa nasubiri na miezi mingi sasa tumesubiri kura kwa ajili ya rais. Na ndio tupo hapa sisi kama vijana tunasubiri matokeo ya rais na rais aapishwe.
Kiti ambacho sijasikia bado ni kiti cha urais. Kwa hivyo sasa ndio tupo ndioni kwamba tunakisikiliza ili tuweze kujua kwamba ni nani atakayeshinda katika urais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
And just a day after casting their votes, it's relatively calm here in Morogoro. Most people have gone back to their businesses even as they wait for that major announcement from the National Elections Commission.
Mimi na uhakika japokuwa uchaguzi tumeufanya jana, maana hatuna wasiwasi, amani imetawala kila sehemu na tuna uhakika kwamba amani itaendelea kutawala moja kwa moja. Na ndio maana hatuna wasiwasi, tunaendelea kufanya shughuli zetu za kawaida.
And even despite that growing anxiety, the National Elections Commission is rightfully within its time frames, and therefore Tanzanians have no choice but to keep their calm, exercise some patience, and wait for that major announcement. My name is Francis Ontomwa in the town of Morogoro.
Here in Dar es Salaam, in fact, here in this hall, the Nyerere Convention Center, the wait was indeed long from the first announcement of that first batch of results, just 3 constituencies. The next announcement came at 4:30 p.m. and then the next one at 8 p.m. But aside from what was happening in here, it was quite a fast and furious day for the politics around this election. Edward Lowassa having a press conference alleging quite a number of issues against the police, and in Kinondoni almost reaching fever pitch with respect to an altercation between voters there who are voting today because they didn't have enough voting materials yesterday. Ben Kitili, who's been in Tanzania for about a month now, took the pulse of the country and the city with respect to this election here in Dar es Salaam.
But there was still voting going on at the Kimara stopover polling station in Dar es Salaam, following the National Elections Commission's decision to postpone the exercise. On Sunday, disgruntled Electoral Commission clerks disrupted the exercise following a pay dispute. But there was more trouble Monday as angry voters encountered election officials.
The polling material which were brought for both the 3 elections, the council election, the parliamentary election and presidential election, were fewer comparing to the turn-up of voters. And this is not a problem isolated for stopover alone.
Well, the voting is currently underway. Different polling voters are still streaming into this very big polling station in this election. It is the only polling station where voting is ongoing a day after the rest of the country cast their ballots. And it is a very big polling station, a total of 12,000 registered voters in this Kimara stopover polling station. And there is one more thing. As you can see, it is only 2 ballot boxes here, only the presidential and the parliamentary voting that is ongoing here. The National Elections Commission has told Kimara stopover voters that they will only vote for those 2 offices, and they will conduct, the National Elections Commission will conduct the civic ward election after 14 days.
Tunashukuru inaenda vizuri, kumekuwa na amani na tunashukuru tumepata hii siku, japo jana kulikuwa na changamoto hiyo hatukuweza kupiga kura, lakini tunashukuru kwamba tume imetupa siku ya leo na tumeweza kupiga kura kwa utulivu kabisa.
Leo nimekuja kutekeleza ahadi yangu ya msingi kwa sababu jana pamoja na matatizo yote yaliyotokea ni kwa sababu haya ni mambo ya uchaguzi wa vyama vingi ambao na mwaka huu kumekuwa na ushindani mkubwa, lakini kwa sababu Mungu anatupenda na sisi tunapenda amani, Mungu ameweza kuifanikisha siku ya leo.
Meanwhile, the Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema party has come out to protest what it calls harassment by the police, claiming that the police raided their internal tallying centers and arrested their officials.
Wamevamia, wamewakamata wale vijana na vifaa vyao, kompyuta zao, wamewapeleka lock up. Kinachosikitisha zaidi ni tuma wanazochaji nazo kwamba ni human trafficking, kosa ambalo ni kubwa sana kisheria na kosa ambalo halihusiani na walichokuwa wanakifanya. Kwa hiyo tunaeleza masikitiko yetu kwa jeshi la polisi kuchukua hatua hiyo wakati huu tunaohitaji vijana hao. Vijana hao wanafanya kazi ya tallying, kuangalia zile fedha zinazokuja zinafanyaje, zinafanana na zipi na kufunga hesabu vizuri.
We work from here, party headquarters. We don't direct the police. We have no idea how, where they are. And I'm very impressed. They have 191 IT specialists. But for us, whether or not your tallying center and whether or not it exists will change the outcome of the election, where tallying is done by official authorities.
Vote tallying is still ongoing at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center. The National Elections Commission expects to announce the winner of the presidential election by Thursday, October 29th. Ben Kitili, KTN News, Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
All right before we leave you this evening from Tanzania, we were the first ones in and were probably the last ones out of this convention center. Just an update on the numbers once again. John Magufuli closing out the day with 458,040 votes to Edward Lowassa's 696 votes. Vote announcements will continue from that stage right there. Tomorrow we'll be here to be able to cover that, but we'll also be following the preliminary report of different observer missions that have been observing this election throughout the campaign period and of course throughout vote counting. Quite a number of them there. There's the African Union Commission